from the Improv in Hollywood, it's the Nighttime Show. Tonight, our special guest, star of War and the Ape, Wizards of Waverly Place, and Glee, Mr. Josh Sussman. We also welcome our head writer, Matt Walker. I'm the voice of the Nighttime Show, Mike Black. And now, you know him, you love him, the ball cracker, death on foot, Stephen Kramer Glickman!
Yeah! Wow, man. Mike, when you do it, you sure do it.
I do.
You do it, Mike Black.
Do it all over.
You do it all over.
All over its face.
All over. It's all over the show's face.
Yeah.
That's Ex Mortis, our wonderful band that's on tour. We love them and adore them.
They're playing with Iron Knot.
What?
Coming up.
Kidding.
That's like two. That's
September
19th. Wow.
In Hollywood, you can go see
coming
Iron
right
Knot.
around.
That might be too much metal.
That's a lot of metal.
I'm going to go. I will be there. I will see two of the Nighttime Show's favorite bands.
I love both those people. They're both terrific.
Yeah.
Josh Sussman, how are you, buddy? What you doing? How are you?
Oh, hey. I'm just in awe of Mike. I'm just in awe of Mike's announcing skills.
Oh, thank you.
They're so terrific, huh?
Even though no one heard it, but I fucked it up twice before this.
Well, no one has to know that, because I was once asked to be the guest announcer, and I feel like shit now after seeing how it's done. I was just like, it's the Nighttime Show.
Well, that's good too. I like that.
No, but
that's one way to go.
But the way you did it is wow.
That was fun. It's the most fun I have all day, but I'm always in danger of having a stroke. There's always a good chance.
It's a possibility.
I believe that. I can see that.
In your head, pop it out.
That sounds realistic.
I'm not kidding you, Mike. I have on a pretty regular basis, I have people turn to me and go, wow, Mike Black, such a great voice for announcing. He just does such a great job. I'm not kidding you. On a regular basis, I was talking to Nerd Reactor, and they asked who our announcer was on our show.
I really thought Nerd Reactor was a guy you knew until you clarified that.
His name is Nerd Reactor. No, great website. And I was talking to them, and one of the first things they asked me was, who's your announcer? Like, who did you get to announce the show? For the live show and for the podcast, I said, is Mike Black.
Well, that's very sweet.
Mike Black Attack.
But enough about me. We have an awesome guest.
We do. From Glee. I always loved watching on War and the Ape. War and the Ape was such a great, fantastic show.
That's probably my favorite thing I've ever done. But MTV did not promote it, so no one even knew about it. Like, people loved Greg the Bunny, which was what we spun off from.
Yeah.
They didn't even know we existed.
It's so funny how that can happen, because like a network and a studio really choose whether or not people find out it's a thing or not. Like, there are TV shows that come on the year every single year that like, you know, maybe you see like a bus ad for at some point and then nothing. And
Are
then,
you just bringing a bus ad so you can talk about you being in a bus ad?
No. There is that TV show that's coming in about the pitcher. What's that show called? About the pitcher?
Oh, the one about the first female pitcher in the major leagues, whatever it's called.
Yeah. It's like, how long? What's that going to do? How many days?
Yeah, like 2 episodes.
Two episodes, and it's going to be gone?
Like, there's
probably.
no promo for it.
No, I haven't seen one preview for it.
You know, it probably won't even make it to the release date of Storks, the new Disney film.
No, it's Warner Brothers. It's a wonderful film for families.
Mike Black just showed how much we actually pay attention to what you say.
I know,
to us.
you really don't.
It's a cartoon. I make it. It's all Disney to me. If it's a cartoon, if it's not Disney, it's about to be acquired by Disney.
Yeah,
it's
it'll
a
get
matter
bought
of
by
time.
Disney.
It looks super funny. And the voice actors in that movie sure are talented.
Boy, are they.
Oh, Josh. Yeah. Joshua, you were just complaining right before we started. Not complaining, but you did make a statement that Matt Walker referred to you on Facebook. Would you like to repeat this story, please?
Well, that's actually the reason I had an agenda coming here tonight. I wanted an opportunity to talk to Matt about a couple of things where he can't run away.
I get that.
Okay, I'm stuck here now.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I had a wonderful lunch with Fred Stoller.
Love Fred Stoller.
Fred Stoller, terrific guy.
By the way, everyone out there, if you are a fan of the entertainment business, and I assume you are if you're listening to this, go pick up his book called Maybe We'll Have You Back, which was sort of an expanded version of his Kindle single called My Seinfeld Year, which started off with him writing about being a writer on Seinfeld. But this basically explores his entire career about being a guest star, and he has great stories about every single show that he's been on, including Everybody Loves Raymond and Seinfeld and a lot of just fantastic shows. Murphy Brown, he talks about
and
on
if
there.
you need like a reference of what Fred Solar sounds like, he sounds kind of like Ray Romano, but a little bit more quiet and not. He
Great
thinks
guy.
he's
Love
a
Fred
lot
Stoller.
slower than.
And he reads his Kindle book. He reads the audio, but then
In the
on
audiobook, yeah.
But on the other one, Maybe We'll Have You Back, he doesn't read the audio.
Oh, who read it for that one?
Someone who tried to sound like him, but after listening to the whole thing, it's like, I am him. I relate to him so much.
I read the book. I just read the hard copy. I bought.
I had someone read it to me before bedtime.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to have lunch with. In the book, he talked about going to the Grove regularly. So I wrote him on Facebook and I said, I just read your book and I want to eat lunch with you at the Grove. And I wasn't a stranger writing to him.
Yeah.
We worked on Wizards before.
Yeah.
And, so he said yes. And then I decided it'll be fun trying to be on my social media. I posted a photo of us. And then Matt Walker leaves.
Motherfucking Matt Walker.
Oh God, what did he do? What did this man do?
He left a comment.
Oh, him and his little comments.
Yeah, I know.
His precious little comments.
Always commenting. Always commenting.
Would you like to know what he said,
What did he say?
I would like to know.
Matt?
I believe it was something along the lines of, I wish I was there to witness the most awkward lunch ever.
Now, that implies
Jesus.
I'm not always good at picking up on signals, but I'm getting the impression you're telling me that I'm awkward.
Yes.
Well, here's the deal, Josh.
Am I?
You are, but you're professionally awkward.
You're great.
It is.
That's one of the things we love about
You're
you.
called in for the awkward guy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong about that. That's a fine.
And you're at the top of that field.
And you know what? Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And when I read that, at first I was thinking, what a rude comment.
Sure.
Then I was flashing back to the lunch. And I was,
You're like, wow.
and I was like,
There's a kernel of truth here.
It's just you and him, just like, do you want to get soup or
we both
should
got the
we
lunch special.
Share a salad.
Now, what was the lunch special?
Well, there's different options for the lunch special. There were like three different options, but I got like
That's a lot to pick from.
I got like soup and half a sandwich. But it was kind of like, do you
that
want to go
sounds
there?
nice.
Well, if you like it, well, I like it. Do you want to go there? Well, I don't know. And we were both trying to please the other one. So when I was like, oh, Matt is a smart man. His insults are so
Infuriatingly
accurate.
smart.
It's not an insult.
There-
It
you know
wasn't.
what?
You're right.
His insults are infuriatingly truthful. Like, they're so like he nails it on the head every single time.
Well, that's not the.
Yeah, no, he's the best. He's the best, but he's also the worst.
I'm the best worst friend.
yeah,
Well, that's speaking. That brings me to my next point. I wanted to discuss a few different things with Matt.
absolutely. Well, let's
Yeah,
get into
Let's
it.
get into it. Let's have a therapy session. Let's go.
So, well, as soon
Couples
as
therapy. Me and Josh Sussman at couples therapy.
Here we go.
Yeah.
as soon as me and my girlfriend broke up, Matt swoops in to ask her out on a date.
No, that's not
Whoa!
what happened. That's not what happened.
Wow.
Now wait, hang on a second. We gotta really discuss this. Josh, how long were you with your girlfriend? 4 years. He was with his girlfriend.
Whose name we're not going to mention.
Her name does not exist on
So we'll
the
go
show.
back and edit that part out.
Yeah, Brian, you'll bleep that. All right, so you
I had a girlfriend for 4 years.
girlfriend for
We
4
would be
years.
at social functions. Matt was always there, and now it was the whole time. So he just waiting.
No.
All right, so
what happened
explain the story, Matt.
you guys broke
Defend
up
yourself.
in like December or something.
June. You're 6 months off.
I don't remember what it was, but
It was
then,
June 2014.
Okay.
And Matt decided it was Christmas in July.
Because I didn't see Josh or his girlfriend after that for months. Like, I didn't see either one of them, and I'd heard through the grapevine that they'd broken up, but they
It
were still
hasn't
friends.
been months. It was June. It's August now.
No, 2014.
Oh, this is 2014.
2 years ago,
Yeah, 2 years ago. 2
All
years.
right.
I waited a
so
long
this
time
is
to
June.
ask Matt about this.
So
Fair
then,
enough. Fair enough.
I ran into both of them at the premiere of a short film that Stephen Glickman had made,
Right.
which was like 6 or 9 months after that breakup had happened. And then I was talking to everyone there.
Right.
And then, hey, here's my
Bleep.
number. Give me a call sometime.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, bleep the name. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said the name. So I was like, okay, and I got in touch with her, and we went out one time. We met for a drink, and that was it.
Okay.
Nothing even happened.
Yeah. All right.
No kissing,
No,
Hand holding,
no.
shaking hands.
Shaking hands, yes. We hugged.
furtive glances.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I probably gave her a furtive glance. I don't think I got a furtive glance back.
Here's the thing: is
Fair
at
enough.
that point, you guys had been broken up for how long?
You were already dating other people at that point because I heard some of those stories.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
Well, that kind of changes it a little, Josh. If you were already dating other people,
Oh. I mean, I'm allowed to. She is too. I was just always wondering.
it's just it is a tricky thing when it's somebody that's close to
I
you.
wasn't trying to weasel in on anything.
I just wanted to know if he was always just waiting and
No.
leering.
I was not.
That does make it awkward, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
Most awkward podcast ever. We're going for now.
No, I just experienced a thing where a girl that I'm friends with wanted to date a guy that we're friends with, and another girl that I'm friends with said, "No, you can't date him because I dated him," and so then she didn't date him, but her cousin fucked him, and so
Didn't date him, just fucked
they just fucked him. But it was all within. We're all friends. We're all very close friends, all of us, and it sometimes that gets a little. Sometimes it gets a little tricky. It gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
Gets a little tricky. But it's also one of the things that like a date and a hangout or getting a drink with somebody is not always like a real date. Sometimes it's just that they are spending time together because maybe they're exploring what the future could be. You know what? I went out with my dear friend, very close friend of mine, who is not in this room. I went out with his sister without asking him, and then after I hooked up with her, I asked him if it was okay.
Man code violations.
Yep,
Steve.
and he said, "The fuck, it's okay. Absolutely not, under no circumstance." And I went, "Yeah, no, I would never do that." Ever.
Was this when you called
Steven.
me wondering how to doctor karate wounds?
Yes, I was
the
like,
day
"How do
after?
you?" Yes,
So
If
we
someone
just hope that
roundhouse
he's not
kicked
listening
you
to
in
this
the kidney.
podcast because he'd probably be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
yeah. His name is Jerry, and we used to live together. It's okay. It was a long time ago. Anyways, we should skip over this.
Can you just bleep the last 2 minutes of this now, please?
Yeah, hey Brian, set a marker for deleting that one. All right, I don't want to get stabbed to death in my sleep.
Roughly the last 35 minutes should be
Yeah, let's just start over from the beginning. It's the nighttime show.
But while we're talking about dating, can I actually, this is a real question.
Yes.
Sometimes I think I'm too polite, and I met someone just on the streets on Hollywood Boulevard who was a fan, and he wanted to take a picture with me, and he tagged me on Instagram. And then he entered my DMs and was just asking, he said, "I'd love to pick your brain and get a drink or something or coffee." And I'm like, "Sure." And I'm
Was
being
that
very
a date?
polite. Well, I'm figuring, okay, it's just someone who wants to be in show business and they want things. But
He
then,
was doing to you what you did to Fred Stoller, you thought.
no, but then he starts calling me handsome and talking about getting to know me. And now I'm realizing this guy, I think he's flirting with me. And I probably, at the beginning, I didn't maybe let him on by saying I'm into it.
Sure.
I wonder if he is a
being
fan.
friendly.
And I'm just being friendly, but now I kind of ignored his last messages once he called me handsome, and like I don't know what to say. Like, is it rude to be like, well, I'm to tell him I'm not gay? 'Cause I'm not homophobic, but I don't want to come off
think it's rude to
homophobic.
tell him
It's
you're not
never
gay.
rude to say you're not gay.
I think it would be
No.
But then
more
that's
rude to
assuming-
not tell him.
But then,
Because if you don't tell him, he might be expecting something more. But if you tell him right away, now that you've got this impression, you should just tell him right away, like rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
But he
because
never-
if you let it go on, then he's going to get more and more involved in this idea about what he wants to have happen.
want to see a picture?
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
please.
Sure, let's see a picture of this.
show us a
Let's see a
picture.
picture of your boyfriend.
Josh,
Hey!
Josh, if I might, a very important point. With all the political correctness out there, it's very confusing. It is never rude to say, "I'm not gay," unless you're coming. That's the one time you really, it's too late at that point.
If you're getting a blowjob,
right. It's a, hey,
at
I'm
that
not
point,
gay.
and you say, "Hey, I'm not gay," that's a little politically
Now
correct.
you're leading him on.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so let's see.
agree. I agree, 100%.
Oh, you look. You make a very nice couple.
Let me take a look. I want to see
is
what
he-
he looks like. Matt, do you ever get hit on by fellas? Do you ever get hit on?
No.
Never. Oh, this is a good looking fella. He's got
I don't get hit on by
the whole
anyone.
thing going on.
So-
What about you? You ever get hit
Oh
on?
yeah, I get the bear heat.
Oh yeah, you and me.
I can imagine, if you guys
Yeah.
go to Silver Lake, it's probably just beat him off with a stick.
But then I'll show you the direct messages. But no, it's because he didn't outright say, "Hey, I want to date you. I want to be with you." Then by me telling,
But then think about it,
I would
Josh.
support this couple.
When
You guys could share hair products and stuff.
Absolutely.
so Josh, like when you date
Relaxer.
women,
Yeah.
do you tell them like, "Hey, I want to date you"? Like, do you explicitly state that? I don't think people don't say that, right?
well, no, but I don't know.
I did though when
I
me
don't
and
know what
Rachel
to
got
do.
together. We
I
made
want to date you.
No, we said we are getting into a relationship. That is the choice. Like we literally said those words.
But she's
Do you
kinda
want
like
to?
that.
She is
Yeah,
very.
Rachel's very direct.
She's very direct. It was like it was like, do you want to be in a long term relationship with me? Yes or no? And I was like, yes, I do.
Did you like give
Initial
her a
here.
note?
Initial here, sign here.
Did you have a note that was like 2 checkboxes? Like, do you like me? Check
yes,
or
check no.
and hand
I
it to
think
her?
I
Yeah.
want to love someone.
I remember having to get that.
I'm ready to
notarized
love
for you
someone.
guys.
Are you ready to love somebody, buddy?
I'm ready to give my love to
Well,
someone.
give this guy a chance.
He was a nice
Give
guy.
him a chance. Matt, real quick before we continue, I had a weird thing recently. I had another fireball moment.
Fireball moment?
Yeah, like a fireball moment. That's like when you drink fireball whiskey and then just, something amazing and extraordinary happens. Like 'cause when you drink fireball whiskey, you never know.
Yeah,
what's gonna
crazy
happen.
stuff happens.
Crazy
Right.
stuff happens. Yeah, no, it's true. So, we were doing the nighttime show live and having this, great time, and everybody was having fun. And as the night was coming to an end here at the, Hollywood Improv, I did 2 shots, at the bar. Really great stuff. And of Fireball, and then I started wandering to my car, but somehow I got lost on Melrose. I turned down a corner, I turned another corner, I turned a different way, and I ended up in this forest, which I guess now is a park that's nearby, but it was a much bigger park than I've ever seen before. So now I'm wandering through this park at like 2:00 in the morning. It's very, very dark, and I can see the trees, and you can hear, everything buzzing. And I swear to you, out of nowhere, I see Bigfoot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like the Bigfoot.
the Bigfoot. He comes.
Did he look like Harry and the Hendersons?
He was
Bigfoot?
just like that.
Wow.
Like very kind of ape-like, but very, very tall, really huge muscles and gigantic. And he comes around the corner, and I froze. I was very scared. All right.
Yeah, I think if you see Bigfoot, you got to stop.
Oh yeah. I stopped. I got real scared, and I look over, and I go, oh my gosh. I go, Bigfoot. Are you Bigfoot?
Yes. Bigfoot.
That's what he said.
Yeti Bigfoot.
I said, oh wow. Hey there, Bigfoot. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. No pictures.
Oh,
Everyone wants a selfie. I don't have time. I can't. They put on the Instagram the whole thing, and they always the wrong filter.
Do they
I
face
can't
swap
have
with
it.
you?
Always. I can't go.
They do. They face swapped with him.
I can't go 5 minutes without the face swap. I don't like it.
And you don't even think you wouldn't even think the app would be able to recognize the face because it's so
Right. And
enormous
the
and
kids,
different.
They have no class. They just take the picture. They don't, hi, how are you? My name's Marty, what have you. Nothing. They just
just take a picture.
Start flashing
Take
right
a picture
away.
right away. It's so rude.
Oh, the photo bomb. Don't get me started on the photo bomb.
It's too much. Sometimes they do fingers over your head. They do
Sure.
bunny ears.
I'm trying to eat a unicorn, and halfway through, these kids come up and they get behind me with the thing, and we're gonna hashtag. I can't have it.
So basically, Matt. I was very hungry, and so I turned to Bigfoot and I said, "Hey, Bigfoot, do you want to maybe go to Cantor's?"
I would love to go to Cantor's.
Yeah, it turns out Bigfoot is like a huge fan of Cantor's.
Of course.
Yeah, he said his favorite kind of fish is gefilte
Gefilte fish.
Gefilte fish. Yeah, so we go there, we have some gefilte fish, we have a nice matzo ball soup.
A nice soup.
I had one more shot of Fireball whiskey, and out of nowhere, I'm not kidding you, he vanished. Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you, Fireball whiskey, you never know what kind of adventures you're going to have.
I don't pay the check.
Josh, on a serious note, Josh, Mike, you don't know this story. Josh, let me ask you a question. Josh,
Sure,
this is a
do it.
I know that you and me went to Disneyland together, and it was epic. You knew everything that was going on. I hadn't been in a very
Disney
long time.
fanatic.
You are kind of a Disney. Now, I'm not saying you're not a Drake Bell. Drake Bell goes every week, couple times a week sometimes.
I've seen him there.
Yeah, he goes a lot. How often do you go? And you worked for Disney a little bit, right? You worked on a couple shows.
Yeah.
Well, that's some of their animated things, some of like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah.
Some ABC shows.
What were they like to work for?
They're great.
Yeah.
They're like such, and I don't know if it's unique to Disney or just like the kid shows in general, like you or on Nickelodeon. I think some of the shows I've done for Disney are so warm and friendly, and it feels like a family, and I loved it. Like that might be my dream job. I'd love to be a regular on a sitcom.
Oh, yeah, man. I have no doubt that you will be. You're a very, very funny fella. But you like going to Disneyland a lot. How often do you go?
Well, it's different all the time. Sometimes I could go a month without going. There could be times where I go 3 times in a week.
Wow. Amazing.
But I know it probably sounds crazy, but it's different than someone who's going for the first time and they go all day and they want to go on every single ride, where there's always new things and different events.
Because you have a pass, you can just go and be like, I'm just going to go on Splash Mountain and Space Mountain, just the mountain rides.
Like the last time I was there a couple weeks ago, I was there for 12 hours and only went on one ride.
Do you bring a
What do
date?
you do the rest of the time?
Eat. And try different foods and walk around, and sometimes there's shows.
See, I haven't been to Disneyland since 1995 was the last time I went.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
You're missing out.
They were building Indiana Jones last time I was
Matt,
there.
would you like to change this?
No, I don't really care.
Matt, come on.
It's
Man.
a lot of fun.
I've been to Knott's. I took Glickman with me to Knott's.
It was
Which
the
is-
You're a
worst
big
experience.
That is not the better park.
I like Knott's.
You see what I did?
Well, Knott's was great, except for
was
the
a
time when we
horrible
tried to get on a
experience.
ride and Glickman didn't fit.
It's true.
Oh,
I could see that
We
happening.
waited in line for like 20 minutes. We got up to Ghost Rider,
It was a Ghost Rider.
and then we tried to sit in the chair, and the fucking thing wouldn't close on me.
And Nicolas Cage laughed at you.
Yeah. And then we stood up, and I just had to walk all the way back.
and I still went on the ride.
And he still went on the ride
I
without
waited.
me.
Yeah.
And then he tried to make me feel better, so he bought me a
Funnel cake.
A funnel
Which
cake.
you said was the first funnel cake
I'd
you ever
never
had.
eaten a funnel cake.
So he.
I got this fat not eating funnel
Yeah,
cakes.
like how do you not fit on a ride without eating funnel cake? It seems like that would be a prerequisite.
His
Yeah.
remedy for this horrible situation
I
was
would
to
have
make
thought-
you fatter.
I know.
That was.
I know.
Okay.
It's shocking. I make bad food choices. I don't really like Knott's Berry Farm in comparison.
It's
It's
Old West
okay. Yeah,
I like that.
It's like a traditional park.
I mean,
Disneyland is
it's
more of an
beautiful.
experience.
I'm just such a fan of the boysenberry. I like going to where it was invented.
Oh, you're so weird.
Stupid.
I
You're
love boysenberries.
See, that's the difference, Josh. You're awkward, but he's fucking weird, old and weird. He likes weird stuff. He does. He says things to me. Oh, I was watching TV today. What were you watching? Paint drying. What? Oh,
Not
it's a
paint
great
drying.
TV show.
Okay,
Dear
earlier
John
today,
is
I'll tell you what
pretty
I watched
close.
earlier today.
What did you watch?
I watched Martha Stewart's Baking,
Holy fucking
which is Martha
shit.
Stewart teaching you how to bake cakes. 'cause
It's
I
him
like baking
watching
cakes.
food cook.
No,
Oh, and I watch cooking shows all the time.
Yeah.
I
No.
watched Cooks Illustrated. Great show. America's Test Kitchen.
So another you watch 2 back-to-back cooking
Oh, yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Do you
back-to-back
bake?
cooking shows. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I watched what's it called? I watched One Day at a Time today.
Oh, it's a good show.
Yeah, I watched it for
Bonnie
4
McFarlane.
minutes, and then
No,
I
no,
went.
it's,
I went. If I
Bonnie-
watch any
what was
more
her
of
name?
this, I'm going to kill myself.
Right.
And then I flipped the channel and I started watching old episode of which was that
Dear
show?
John.
Different
no,
strokes.
Dear
No,
John.
no. What
I
was
know
the
you
game
love
show?
Dear
The
John,
game show.
creep.
Match Game.
Match Game.
Oh, that's the
So I'm
best.
watching Match Game.
Gene
And
Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn, the host, walks up to this girl. I've never seen this show. I've never watched.
No, you're talking about Richard Dawson Family Feud.
Richard
That's the one you were
Dawson
talking
Family
about earlier.
Feud. Richard Dawson on Family Feud.
The late great
Kisses
Richard Dawson.
everybody.
He walks up to this young 20-something-year-old girl
And
and
he
goes,
kissed her on the lips.
He goes, well, hi there, miss. Kisses her right on the lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes down and kisses the other girl on the lips.
Yeah.
And then he
Hi.
kisses the wife
kissed
on the
everyone
lips.
on
How
the
you
lips.
doing, my dear? And then he'd kiss her right in the face. And then
What?
Yeah.
Then he
I think
goes
Richard
over to the mom
Dawson-
and just grabs her by the tits. And, how are you, lovely lady?
Oh
And,
my God.
But I think Richard Dawson is responsible for like 90% of the cold sores in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I discovered myself watching reruns of that show. That's
What?
how I first became aware of my body. And
Wait,
Watching
what's happening?
Family Feud?
Watching Richard Dawson molest half of America.
understand.
I'm just kidding. That was a silly
such a
joke.
Such a weird thing and great thing to say.
Now,
But can I
Richard
tell you-
Dawson had the best response to Arnold Schwarzenegger's "I'll Be Back" ever
What did he
in Running Man, where he was the host of a lethal game show. Arnold grabs him and goes, "I'll be back," and he goes, "Only in a rerun." And hits the button and sends him off.
Shit.
It's a great movie.
That is great.
Also starring Jesse the Body Ventura.
Jesse
just
the
telling you, I
Baddie
was watching-
Ventura.
National Lampoon's European Vacation, and they make fun of Richard Dawson at the beginning of that movie because they're on the game show,
Pig in a
and the
poke.
game show host, which is played by the guy who was Gomez Adams in the old TV show. I forget his name.
John Aston.
John Aston plays the game show host, and he basically like makes out with Beverly D'Angelo, who's the mom, and then the
Right.
daughter.
Yeah.
He's like dipping her down and like almost copping a feel as part of the show, like because they're making
Yeah.
fun of Richard Dawson doing that.
You know, They mentioned Richard Dawson in the famous Wu-Tang Clan "Ain't Nothing to Fuck With" song.
Oh, really?
Yep, they mentioned his name right in the middle of it.
Very cool.
I tell you,
He was in the top 10 on my all-time favorite game show host list when I compiled it.
This is what I'm saying. So weird.
I
and
love that he
old.
has a top 10 game show list.
Look, number one, Gene Rayburn.
Wait, did you compile this because a magazine asked you to, or a website?
I did. I put it in a blog on MySpace back in the day.
Yeah, no. This is.
And
I was
you wanna
trying
know how-
really hard to make
Mike-
this sound legit.
I went 50 deep on my game show host list.
Holy shit! Are you serious? Who's the
Now-
worst? Who's the worst?
Now, wait, did you get any backlash from
from
the
game shows.
readership about
How dare you?
How dare you?
Number 37.
How is Wink Martindale only number 7? What the?
where was Bob Barker on your list?
Bob Barker was number 3 on my list,
Okay.
which is controversial. People would say he's number 1, but I think Gene Rayburn is a clear number 1.
Now,
then
what,
number 2,
what show did Gene Rayburn host?
Match Game.
Okay.
He's the best. I love Gene Rayburn.
What do you
He's
think of
the-
Alex
he's my favorite.
Trebek?
He was my number 2, which a lot of people would say is too high, but I'm a big fan of a pompous game show host.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's just pompous and he acts like he knows everything, and he's like condescending when people don't know the answer.
He was kind of
Which is
the
great.
heel.
Yeah, I love
of
him.
game show host. He was
He's
the
great.
rowdy Roddy Piper of
Yeah,
game
he's
show
awesome.
hosts.
I love
His
him.
pronunciation
What
is-
about Pat Sajak? Where'd Pat Sajak fit in?
He was around like 15.
Yeah.
Regis
I think he's
Philbin.
great on Wheel of Fortune, but he's sort of limited. That's his only. He's kind of smarmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
about-
with Josh on this. What about Regis Philbin?
Yeah,
Regis was in the top 20.
I like Regis.
Yeah,
as he
was good.
should be.
But like
Did I ever
the
tell you-
all-time worst, by the way, if you want to know who the worst game show host of all time is,
Yeah.
it's Terry Crews.
Oh, really?
Terry Crews hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for a while, which is the worst decision ever
Yeah.
in the history of game shows. Because there's nobody worse for that style of show than Terry Crews, because he would just yell the questions at the people.
Yeah.
And
he
they'd be
seems
all like
very-
scared.
I would
He'd
be
scared to answer.
intimidated.
Yeah.
To, like, is that your final answer? Yes.
Is that your final answer? It was like that. It was
I'm
crazy.
so sorry.
Wait, quick. Regis Philbin. You ever hear my Regis Philbin story? You ever hear that story?
I'm sure I have.
I
but
think
don't
you
recall.
probably have. Mike, did you ever hear this story?
Probably.
Real quick.
I haven't.
All
I
Here, I'll
want to
tell
hear
Josh real
it.
quick.
Tell it to me.
The year is 1997. I'm 18 years old. I just moved to Los Angeles. I'm going to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And I go over for dinner and meet my aunt and uncle at Chin Chin's on Sunset Boulevard over by
Right,
Sunset
don't be
Plaza.
racist. What's the place called?
Mike Black, you make me laugh. You're the best. So I go over there. I'm walking into the restaurant for a nice lunch to talk to my aunt and uncle about what I'm enjoying at school. And as I'm walking in, I see Regis Philbin is sitting outside the restaurant eating lunch at Chin Chin's. And I go, oh my gosh. Regis Philbin, I'm such a huge fan. He goes, no. And I go, listen, I don't want to bother you. I'm sorry. I know you're eating lunch and I don't want to be rude, but wow, it's so cool. I love the work that you've done in New York. Like your musical theater work is incredible. Your hosting is incredible. You're such a talent. And I know you've been in the business for such a long time. I love you, Regis. I think you're the coolest. And he goes, I'm not Regis. And I go, yeah, you are. You don't have to be you don't have to be like, weird. Like you don't have to feel weird about it. We're in Hollywood. This is where all the actors are, right? So you don't. And he goes, I'm not Regis Philbin. I go, you are Regis Philbin. And he goes, no, I'm George Hamilton. and I said,
The Colonel.
And I said, from the Jenny McCarthy show.
Oh,
Wow.
kicking him when he's down.
And he said, yeah, that's what I'm from. And I went, okay.
You started awkward celebrity interactions like very young.
I really did.
Yeah.
I've had
You had a bunch of them.
I've had a lot of bad celebrity interactions. You know most of them.
Yeah.
Can I confess one of my celebrity what was it?
Bad interactions.
Bad interactions.
Sure, yeah.
I've never talked about this publicly before.
Well, talk
and
about
I just
it.
want to get it off. I feel bad about
Get
it.
it off your chest, Josh.
Get off your chest, Josh.
Okay, I was. You think I'm socially awkward now? I used to be even more socially awkward. So I'm in an elevator with Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah.
We were working together on What About Brian, which is an ABC show, and this was right after the Dustin Diamond sex tape came out.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it would be inappropriate to ask about it. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you could realize that. You're right.
I don't know. I'm
Everybody was talking about it. At the time. Of course.
It's only fair.
So we're in the elevator. So I ask her, so what did you watch the Dustin Diamond sex tape?
That's how you
That's how you
broach
brought it
the
up.
subject.
I maybe not word for word, but basically.
Just
but,
out of the blue.
You said it like it was a sports game. So did you catch the Dustin Diamond?
exactly. Yeah, it was casual. And
That
then
second inning was incredible.
Yeah.
it didn't cross my mind that she was ignoring me. So I asked a little louder. I figured, okay, she probably didn't hear me.
Alone
She's
in
in
an
her own thoughts.
elevator.
Maybe
She didn't register.
there could have been other people in the elevator.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't until the third time that I asked her that I realized she's ignoring this question. Because before this, she was delightful and would speak to me, and she acknowledged my existence.
Right.
After that, she never looked at me the same again.
Wow.
So was that inappropriate?
So, Josh, let
why
me ask
is
you
that
this.
inappropriate to ask
Did
her?
you watch the Dustin
Yes.
Diamond sex tape?
All of it.
And
Really?
What did you
I
think?
didn't.
All of it.
I grew up with Saved by the Bell, so
So you want to see Screech having sex?
well, I still yes.
You want to see
Okay.
we want to see what's happening.
I,
Did you not see it?
No.
I watched a couple minutes. I
Of
watched
course,
about
I
2
also
minutes.
I didn't watch Saved by the Bell either. So
okay, so it's not important to you. And at this
yeah.
point, I
Closest
still
I came to this was watching Showgirls.
I did watch Showgirls.
Of course, I've seen Showgirls. I saw that in the movie theater.
I still
the
had
one.
my
I'm the only person.
You're the $12 that movie made right there.
Yes.
I still had my flower at this point. So like it's educational. Like it's like a documentary. It's learning where things
Oh,
go.
your flower.
Oh, like we
That
were
flower. Okay.
Mike and I just
Oh.
had a realization
you
at
were
the same
still
time.
I was
an
an
innocent lady at that time.
I was an innocent young boy. This was probably like 2006.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right.
I was innocent. No, but why? Like, okay, it was inappropriate
You
to
have
ask her.
not
But
yet
why is it
succumbed to
inappropriate?
your
Urges.
base or nature.
Right.
Why? What's the reason it's inappropriate? She was on a show with him, so
It's an acquaintance.
She knows
of
him.
hers.
I think asking a woman you're working with if she's seen a sex tape is probably inappropriate.
But it's someone she knew and worked with for 5 years. So you
I
think there's a
the way
curiosity?
you could ask about that is say, "Wow, crazy news about Dustin Diamond, huh?" Instead
Yeah,
of
or say,
asking
like-
if she's seen it, you can broach the subject and perhaps she might give some insight as to it without saying, "Did you watch the sex tape itself?"
Well, I meant no
You know,
harm
it
with
was
it.
it seemed like a tricky thing too, because everybody that does these like kid shows, they either try to distance themselves from them 100%,
Like Miley, for
like
example.
Miley Cyrus,
or
who
like
just
what Bella Thorne is doing now.
right. But even with Miley, I mean, Miley broke it in half.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, I'm going to smoke weed out of a baby doll and set
And
set a
naked on stage.
dance naked on
Yeah.
stage and set a unicorn on fire." Like she's she went full tilt the opposite direction and completely changed the way that people look at her. But then you have people like Mario Lopez who spent his entire career being really respectful of what people know him from. He doesn't look that much different than how he did when he was then, and that's a long time ago. And he just kind of rode out the fame of that and has turned it into like a career of being known as Mario Lopez. Like he's not a like Mario Lopez is no longer like a famous actor. He's a famous person.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so with someone like Tiffany Amber Thiessen, she actually tried to distance herself from the movie.
Yes.
She did 90210 and Melrose Place and all these other shows. And so she's tried to break that off so that people don't remember that that's who she is anymore.
But this wasn't in a public thing. This was in a private.
But the problem is then a sex tape comes out and suddenly
Everybody remembers her from that
and they don't remember from anything else anymore. I just had it happen with Big Time Rush where I
Did one of them have a sex tape, Steven?
no, but I said
Did you watch James Maslow's sex tape, Steven?
No, but I said something online about the show, and then one of the guys reached out to me and was like, "Hey, stop bringing it up. Stop bringing the show up to people," and was like really uncomfortable.
You were asked about it in an interview.
And I was asked about it in an interview, like, did I think we could have a reunion and would we go back and do more? And I was like, yeah, I think everyone would be happy to do it. And one of the guys was like, not stoked.
You know what they should do? They should do a reunion, but recast his part.
That'd be
I love it when they do that.
hysterical.
Like, don't you love when they do reunion shows like that? And there's one person who holds out, so they recast them, like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
When they did that, and they had to recast, it's Cindy, who never wants to do it, right?
It was Jan.
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 So
She
they had to
hated-
recast
Eve
Jan.
Plum. Eve Plum
in those
hated it.
Movies where like the Brady sisters got married or whatever when they had those movies, the Brady Brides, right?
Yeah.
And then they had to recast her because she just wants nothing to do with the show.
So
Were they able to get Cousin Oliver back?
I don't know.
you know,
I would have just got Paul Williams.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking,
just get Mike Black to play Cousin Williams.
hell yeah.
I just hope
Cousins
they get
and
Mary
Williams.
Kate and
Well,
Ashley for
look.
Fuller House.
Yeah, they're not coming back.
They're not coming back.
And they're not
either for that.
recasting either because
They only need one of them. They don't even need both anymore. They only needed both because they were little kids and they couldn't.
Why
Yeah,
don't
because
they
of work
get the
rules.
other Olsen that can act?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I used to
Olsen's
have a
are the
huge
Olsen.
crush.
It's like those, like, what's his name? Stamos has moved on repeatedly throughout his career. I mean, that guy has done every. I mean, he was
He's in the Beach Boys now.
Yeah. Well, he was on ER for all that
Yeah.
time, and then he just did big show after big show after
Yeah.
big show.
He
and
did Glee.
He got a lot of respect for being, you know,
He does Dan and Oikos commercials.
Yeah,
Now,
people
wait,
like
is,
him.
is he on Fuller House?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's the producer. He's
all right.
Yeah, he
so
owns
he moved
part
on
of the
and
show,
he
yeah.
moved back.
Right, yeah, and Saget did like he did an interesting thing and like went off and
He
did
hosted a very
stand-up
good
and,
underrated game show. In fact, he was in my top 25 game show hosts on my
what
list.
what
Bob
show?
Saget.
The 100
One versus 100.
1 versus 100 was a great TV show.
where is Howie Mandel?
Howie
In Vegas.
Mandel was like 35 on the list.
Oh, sorry.
Below Saget?
Yeah. Partially because
I'm glad
the
that you're
show was not
finally
as
getting,
good.
I'm glad you're finally getting challenged on some of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love a good game show debate. I'm all for it.
No, we don't. Wait. Why is Saget way above Mandel?
Well, I think Bob Saget hosted a far superior show in that I respect shows where people have to display knowledge rather than just randomly pick numbers.
That's true. That's
and
very true.
I think the Bob Saget really helped propel 1 versus 100. He made that show good in that you have this. I mean, you have 100 people that somebody's competing against, and you have to find a way to make those 100 people interesting to the home audience. That's very difficult to do
Yeah,
because
no,
you don't
that
get
is
to have any
tricky.
personal connection with them. While on Deal or No Deal, Howie Mandel was just dealing with the one competitor, and they had the banker who's sort of like the evil character, and they had the models, but they didn't really do that much with the
They
models.
didn't do that much. Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you.
I
this
was
from,
on
like,
that set. You know, I went to the set of
I
Deal or No
remember
Deal
with Nodder.
Yeah, I went there with. Oh God, that's
Yeah.
so much fun. You remember Nodder, right?
Of course.
Dude. So me and Nodder got to go to the set of Deal or No Deal because Vic Cohen, who writes for Howie, invited us, and we got to hang out with Howie and like have lunch with him, and it was super cool because that guy Howie Mandel is amazing. So we're sitting there, the four of us, and we're real new in stand up. Okay, so we're sitting there having lunch with him, and he goes, "So, Steven, you go on the road? You doing road work and stuff on the road?" And I go, "No, not really, Howie. I'm just you know trying my best, doing lots of sets and you know performing." And he goes, "How long? What about you? You doing road work? What's your name?" And guy Nodder goes, "Me, Nodder." I go, he goes, "No, I don't do it." Not really. And he goes, "How long you been doing it for? How long you been doing stand for?" And Nodder goes, 4 years. And Howie goes, "Are you lying to me?" And Nodder goes, "What?" And he goes, "You're lying? Why would you lie to me?" And he goes, what? I'm not lying. And he goes, Steven, how long you been doing stand-up? And I go, 3 years. And he goes, see, that's not lying. He didn't lie. You're lying. Why would you lie? And he was lying. He'd only been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he goes, why would you lie? Why would you lie to me? Like, of all people. And Nader goes, I'm not lying. And he goes, okay. And he gets real quiet. And then, Vic Cohen goes, so Nader's a real estate agent. He actually helped me find a home at one point. I was looking for a home and he helped me find it. And he goes, how long you been doing that? 4 years. And we all laughed and Nader just sat there in silence. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, he was great. That's such amazing. A great moment.
Yeah.
I loved that. And then I had to follow Howie at the Laugh Factory.
Fuck.
Yeah, and Howie, just like about 6 months ago, and Howie went up on stage and did a half hour before I went up to do my 10. He did a half hour of Vegas, like Tony winning material,
right?
Like his Broadway one man,
like he's working on his actual act for the road.
Oh god,
blowing it out. Yeah,
it's the hardest thing I've ever had to follow in my career. Like that's probably the meanest thing that I've ever had.
That
to
happened
follow.
to me in Mobile, Alabama. I got like tricked. Duncan Trussell, mischievous Duncan Trussell, tricked me into doing a pseudo celebrity golf tournament in Mobile, Alabama.
Oh my god, what?
And I was like the closest thing to a celebrity because like the other guy dropped out that was supposed to come with me. I had just done some Nike golf commercials, and so that was the big bill, was meet the guy from the Nike
commercials who doesn't actually play golf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I get down there and everyone's just wonderful, but because I'm there, a Southern magician didn't get booked. And so he kind of confronts me in the bathroom. He's like, "Boy, you better bring it tonight." He's like, "You got a real show to do." And so he's laying on some like psychological warfare in the bathroom. I come
There
out
needs to
of
be
the
a
bathroom.
movie about this.
I come out of the bathroom. Killer Bees. Are any of you guys familiar with him? He's a road comic. He's famous.
Sure.
He's like Mobile's favorite son, basically.
His name is Killer Bees.
Yeah, that's
I thought you meant
his
Killer.
stage name. Yeah.
Oh, I was imagining.
And, he had a thin guy, had a mullet. Did every 2 months he does a new commercial for a Toyota dealership there or something.
So he's big in Mobile.
Real big there.
Yeah.
The guy who booked us through Duncan goes, sees Killer Bees. Now, Killer had come out here early, like during the 80s boom, and he'd done like all the places, Catch a Rising
of course.
And he'd been on TV numerous times and stuff. And the guy booking the show looks at the two of us and he goes, "Well, we flew Mike out from Hollywood, so Killer, why don't you just open for Mike? You do 10 minutes, and then Mike, you do an hour." Now, at that time, I had about a half hour shaky.
Yeah.
And maybe 15 minutes of it is clean.
Yeah. And you got like another 20 minutes of premises that are ideas you've been working on. Yeah.
And I'm like trying to go, but I don't think, and then he goes, "Now go on, shoe." And so we leave, and Killer Bees looks at me and he goes, "Son, I'm wearing a $12,000 suit. I'm going to bury you." And I was like, fuck. So Killer goes on stage and annihilates, does like 10 minutes of the most glorious stand-up that has ever been performed over the Mason-Dixon line.
Holy
just
shit.
fucking crushes. And while he's on stage, card trick guy, close-up magic guy comes up to me and he goes, "See that table right there?" And I go, "That one there?" And he goes, "Yeah, smart ass. That's the governor." I go up and do about 40 minutes of the worst crowd work I've ever done. And the only thing worse than bombing in the South is they had a party afterwards and you had to hang out.
You had to hang out, yeah.
And everyone is so faux polite during that. It was another 2 hours of, "Well, bless your heart, you did a great job."
Yeah, I've had that happen. Where I did
murder. Just the worst.
Remember
that's
when we went
my
to
favorite.
Vegas?
That's like maybe we have like two of my favorite stories on the show.
Yeah, we went to Vegas for a wedding, that we went to, and I got a call on the way out.
Oh, for our shitty old friend who's not our friend anymore.
Well, the wedding was for our friend.
Oh, wait, is it for our friend that we love or our
Yes,
friend that we don't love?
we love. Who just
okay. I love.
So we're out there in Vegas for
I love that
wedding.
friend. Okay,
And then-
good.
But I got a phone
We're going
call.
to put this code in the show notes for everyone.
Yeah, we were out there for Anthony Ramos' wedding, who's a great guy.
Oh, I love Anthony Ramos.
But on the way out, I got a phone
He's my
call
friend.
from somebody saying, hey, we would like you to perform at this birthday party for this girl who you know who goes to the Canoga Park Bowl all the time and watches you do stand-up, and she says you're her favorite comedian. But this is a group of developmentally disabled adults who go to the Canoga Park Bowl, and we used to watch the stand-up show there when I would MC. And they said, hey, we'd like you to come do the birthday party for it. I'm like, oh, I love this group of people. They're a great
They're
time.
very nice
Love
people.
doing it.
Yeah.
So I go, and it turns out that this girl is dating somebody who's a aspiring professional wrestler who's about 45 years old, which I think if you're still aspiring at 45 to be a professional wrestler, it's not going to happen. You're just a fat guy with a hobby involving tights at this point, right?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Like it's not really going to happen for you. And I go and I do this birthday party, and it's a group of about 10 of these fantastic people who I love, who had a great time, and about 40 wannabe professional wrestlers in the room who hated me through that show. And I'm sitting around, and it's a birthday party for this girl who I know and like. So the stand-up portion was just me at the beginning of the party. I did a half hour, just ate a dick.
Oh,
just
God.
Oh, it was awful. Just for half an hour, just nothing. The chuckles from one part of the room and just death stares from the other part of the room.
That's painful.
And an audience that could clearly beat
And
you
they can all
up.
kick my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that part of it wraps up, and then I have to stick around for the hour for her birthday party because I told her I'd stay for her birthday party.
Oh no,
Yeah, that was brutal.
that's
Like
really
those parties
bad.
after, I will never agree to do a gig if there's a party after the gig that I'm required to stay at. If I can leave afterwards, I'm okay with it, because then if I do good, then I must hang out and party. But if I do bad, I'm not going to stick around for that.
I know
way.
what that's like.
That's
Like,
terrible.
After I had sex with a model, like she wanted a cuddle for a. I get.
Yes.
It's
Yes!
Exactly
so I
like
get.
that.
I
It's
get.
exactly what it's like, Josh.
It's like, come on, I want to.
Jeez,
I
Josh
understand our life
Sussman
so well.
bringing the heat.
I have TV shows to watch.
Yeah.
And you've got cum on your face. Right? This is not the time for cuddling.
Yeah. After
Go to
Glickman, he's
the
like, you got cum on
bathroom.
your wall. I got to go clean it up. It's,
Between all the cum that me and Steven expel,
that's not something I want to think about ever again.
Too late. Too late.
my cum is the same as your cum, Matt.
Oh my God.
I don't think it is. That's the point.
No.
That's the whole point of cum. Is
And we-
that everyone has their own.
No,
and it's
but
different.
if we,
We
if,
can change the subject now, can't we,
let me,
please?
if, we,
No,
if
we're
I came on the
deep
table,
diving
and,
into cum.
if he came on the table, and I came on the table, and
No, you wouldn't be able to know
tell.
the difference.
No,
Yeah, with all looking.
you wouldn't know till like 9 months later.
That's what I'm saying.
Then you get a ginger, and you're
But-
like, oh,
but
that was
it's-
Matt.
That's
it's
very true.
definitely different.
One of those batches wins
It's not like
Screen
the
Actor
other.
Guild Awards.
Yeah. Josh
Thank
Sussman,
you.
SAG Award winner.
That's right, SAG Award winner.
I got
One
one
of
of
them
those.
wins Shorty Awards,
Right, exactly.
which is the most meaningless award in the world that I have won.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good
I
one.
won an award for tweeting.
Hey, you got to go to
well,
New York
that's
and do a whole
By the
thing.
way, they didn't give an award to the guy who invented Twitter, who did something important. They gave an award to me, who made dick jokes about Justin Bieber on Twitter for
That's
a year.
true. You really
That's
did.
really what happened.
You had to campaign for that, though.
I did.
It was a real thing. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You had a lot of anger against Justin. I remember.
I really did. Yeah.
Yeah. You wrote a lot of good jokes.
How's
and
his-
look at him now.
What was the golden tweet? What was the one that sent you over the moon on that?
Let me see if I can remember exactly how it went, because it was okay. Because I used to do it based on trending topics, and Justin and Selena was trending because your old co-star Selena Gomez used to date Justin Bieber. And I think the tweet I had that was the winning tweet was Justin and Selena sitting in a tree, ANNOYING. First comes love, then comes cheating. Then comes, and there was some girl who said that she had a baby with Justin Bieber at the time. I forget her name. And it was that name with Justin's baby. I mean, I made it rhyme. I forget exactly what it was, but it was a whole thing, and it was just like a mean dig at like multiple levels. And they were like, "Sir, you get an award for that."
Yeah.
Rhyming's always
Mike,
good.
do you write jokes on Twitter? Are you a Twitter
I
joke
think
person?
The last time that I wrote like a current events type joke on Twitter was when I heard that Ben Affleck was going to play Batman.
Really?
And the joke I wrote was, you would think having your parents murdered in front of you would be the worst thing that could happen to Batman.
That's really funny.
Now all of the good tweets that I write wind up in the monologue for the nighttime show.
That's
basically,
very,
that's-
very
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I was trying to see if I ever write anything that's not self-promotion on Twitter.
You never do.
I really do.
No.
It's all
Almost,
storks all the time now.
I'm looking to see if there's anything.
By the way, if you want to see the most depressing, unfunny Twitter feed, it's from the person you would not expect to have an unfunny Twitter feed. It's Mel Brooks, who's a genius. He's
Yeah.
like the Pope of comedy, I like to refer to him, right?
Yeah.
Super nice guy when we met him. But all of his tweets are about people that he worked with who are now dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's like just a list. There's
so
like,
sad.
he's at
Bill
that age.
Silver's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so sad.
Check out this funny.
Gene Wilder.
All right, I'm going to read Josh Sussman's funny
dead.
tweet.
All right, you read his funny tweet. I'm going to find one.
It just occurred to me, if Denzel Washington and Idina Menzel fell in love and got married, and Denzel took Idina's name, he would be Denzel Menzel.
That's pretty. That's
Ooh, I could hear the silence, the crickets.
No, it was good. We just kind of knew where it was going.
yeah. No, it's all right.
Kinda hard not to.
got
You know what?
150
Hey,
likes.
All right, okay. Here's something that I was posting. I posted a picture of Matt Walker, and he's reading a magazine. That's the name of the magazine is Rock and Gem magazine.
Yes.
And it says fact. Funny Matt is so old. This magazine is about the toys he had when he was a kid.
Yes.
And then let's see. Hang on. I'm looking for one more, but I feel like this is going to be not worth doing.
I think this is a waste of our time on this podcast.
Really.
Yes.
Oh man, I just wanted to have like one joke that I
You
wrote.
have great jokes.
No, I just don't write. You know what I wrote about
You just
the
don't
other
put 'em on
day?
Twitter.
I know. I don't do that very often. I really don't. I wrote something the other day about how I think kiwi is the worst fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a bullshit fruit. And you ask people, how do you eat a kiwi? They say, how do you eat a kiwi, Matt?
You throw away the kiwi, you eat an orange like a fucking man.
Yeah, exactly. That was your response, and
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
I think that was
Josh, how do
verbatim
you
what my
how
quote
do you
was.
eat a kiwi?
I put the whole thing in my mouth. And
You rub it on your face awkwardly.
no, well, they're small. Well, if they're cut up, I just put it in my mouth and I suck up the juice.
God, it's like what are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right.
Well, let me tell you more about Disneyland because that's what I wanted.
Yeah, talk to me
Let me
about
tell you about one of
Disneyland.
their new things that started this year that I have not done yet.
What's
that
the
I
new
want to do? Afternoon tea.
What is that?
It's at the Disneyland Hotel.
Is the Mad Hatter there?
I hope so. I haven't done it. Hey, Matt, we should go for afternoon tea at the Disneyland Hotel.
A friend of mine works at the hotel there.
Oh yeah.
No, the Grand California Hotel, I think, is where he works.
Yeah, they have 3 hotels. They have the Grand Californian, the Paradise Pier, Disneyland Hotel. Let's all of us go for afternoon tea.
Okay.
Afternoon tea.
What do you
we'll,
get? Wait, what do you get with tea? Is it like a sandwich or something?
I think so. I don't know. And then for
How much
Halloween,
does afternoon tea set you back?
Yeah, about
At
$14,000.
it might be like $50.
All right. that's
$50 per person, and you get
Probably.
tea.
I can't
And
go every afternoon. I'll go once.
Yeah, let's go once.
I'll go for one
Okay,
afternoon.
I will go one time for afternoon
if
tea.
we film it.
Or
Yeah.
in
Okay, deal.
October, they're going to have trick or tea. So it's like Halloween treats.
Halloween tea.
Yeah.
What, Halloween tree tea?
Yeah,
Trick or
I
Will
tea.
Jack Skellington be there?
I imagine so.
Trick or tea makes me think the other option is urine. It's like it's gonna
Yeah,
be
trick
Or tea. Oh, you got the trick, Mike Black. Oh. Yeah.
Mike, I know you post a lot of pictures of toys online. Have you ever had toys get in the way of like have you ever had toys get in the way of like a relationship or of people because you have a
no,
lot
'cause-
of fucking toys.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of relationships.
Right.
It's funny how that works out. No, I don't date, so that solves that problem.
Well, when you had
You've had girlfriends.
You've had girlfriends though
Yeah,
and dates.
but I stumble into them.
Right.
I don't court. I don't have crushes. I don't pine over ladies.
I get that.
If a lady likes me, I date her until she realizes it was a mistake.
How long does that typically last for? Like, what's the
long does that
longest?
take?
Usually 2 weeks. So it's in the 2-week range. They go from I can change him to it's not worth changing. It's a lot more work than I signed up. It would really, to change me, it would take like 4 girlfriends at once.
What do they want to change?
The toy collecting for starters.
How many?
probably a
How
start,
many?
yeah.
Let's say this.
They'd
How
like
many
me to
toys?
have a job? All sorts of like things that girls want. I don't want to.
How many toys do you buy a week?
35. No, I don't know. I really don't know.
Do you have an idea of how many you buy in a week?
Probably 3 or 4.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That was my big problem with.
I'm doing this. I'm doing about the same numbers as you right now because
I'm counting like video games.
Do we
and
need to
shit,
have
too,
a
though.
toy intervention with both of you?
No. I go to toy shops in the Valley, Universal Comics. I go there because they have all. I'm right now. I'm only collecting 1980s Star Wars action figures. And every once in a while, some G.I. Joe vintage characters from back in the day.
Do you remember
but that's
when
it.
we went
That's
to
it.
one of these stores you like to go to,
Yep.
and you were all checking out the toys? Remember what I was checking out?
No.
Political campaign buttons from the 60s that they had.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's an LBJ button. How much you want for that? And they wanted like $20. And I'm like, nah, I like LBJ, but not for $20.
Yeah.
Did you
exactly.
ever go with us to Frankensons?
No, but I live out there. So
You should go because there's
yeah,
one
you were gonna
booth
meet
that's
us.
all like history buff things. They had like a bumper sticker that I gave to a friend of mine that was Nixon for women.
Oh, that's so
Or
great.
no, women for Nixon. The other way around.
Well, right now I do live 2 blocks away from Richard Nixon's high school.
Whoa.
Currently.
Bragging.
Yeah. Though I'm moving soon.
You're moving. Yeah. It's a huge
Why
deal.
would you
for-
move away from Richard Nixon's high school?
It's time.
A lot of changes happening. A lot of changes. Moving
the
to a
same
new
reasons
place.
Nixon did
Yeah.
to pursue the presidency.
Yes. I'm gonna start my path towards the White House.
Where are you moving to?
By the way, disturbing political news, by the way, I found out this week something I never really cared to know, but apparently I own some of the same kind of underwear that Anthony Weiner wears because I saw a photo and I was like, oh, I have those same jockey boxer briefs.
Are we going to... is this the time where we talk about Matt's penis? Is that...
Jesus.
Mike, is that what we're doing?
You're always looking for a time to talk about.
Josh, let me tell you a quick story.
We
This
don't
is...
need to talk about
No. I'm
we're
going to tell
talking
you.
about
I'm
it.
going to tell you this is a true story. Can we say that there's a girl in the room? And I don't want to say her name. Should I say her name? No. Okay. So there's a girl in the room who's friends with Matt, but this is a true thing.
She
It's
probably already knows.
She probably already knows. She probably already knows. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't know. But this is a true fact, Josh, and this really happened. I was sitting next to him. I've known Matt Walker now 14, 15 years, and we're sitting next to each other one night.
A few years ago.
A couple of years ago. It's still to this day. It's one of the worst days of my life. We're sitting there, and he goes, hey, you want to see a sexy picture on my phone of a lady? And I go, oh, okay, I guess. And it wasn't like of a lady that he knew. It was just it was like a lady or something, right? It was like a sexy lady picture. I don't know.
It was a photo I'd been sent.
Yeah, some girl sent him a picture.
I get
And then
sent
he
photos like
he
that
goes, "You want to see this picture of this lady?" I go, "Okay." And he opens his phone out to show me, and instead of showing me a picture of the lady, there's a picture of his penis. All right,
It's not.
and
Now, how do you know it's his? Because this is a full body?
no,
or is
well,
it-
I don't think guys are sending him pictures of this. But he goes, don't make
I
a
would
big
imagine
deal.
the pubic hair had something
Possible,
to do with
but he goes.
identifying it.
I go, oh God! I went, oh God, is what I said.
So he's a
And
true
then-
redhead.
and yeah, and then he goes, don't make a big deal of it. I go, make a big deal of it. You took it with panorama. It's a very large photograph.
So he's well endowed.
It's to the point
How
that
red
it's
is my face right now, by the way?
pretty red.
was
Yeah,
red
but
as-
here's what happens. Here's this son of a bitch. What happens? Okay, so then I go. Well, great hanging out, pal. Right? I go. First of all,
I like that you get pissed off when you
I
see
got
a
mad.
huge penis.
I got very
You're
mad
like,
because I
don't
was
know
like,
if I can be friends with you anymore.
well, because Matt's always trying to write jokes. He's always trying to write jokes. It's like
Right.
just do porn. Like you're fucking in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Like
Quit fucking around.
If I was really good at jumping, you'd be like, be an Olympian.
Yeah.
You know, you'd tell me to do.
Matt, you have a gift.
So yeah, here's what happened, Josh, is I go to bed that night, okay? This is the end of the story. I go to bed that night, I try to go to sleep, okay? And I have a dream that a giant penis is chasing me down the street, okay? And the tip of it is opening and going, Steven, it's me, your buddy Matt. Don't you want to hang out? And like stuff's shooting out of it as it's chasing. And it was big. I mean, it's 7 feet tall, chasing me. And I'm screaming. I wake up next to my girlfriend in bed. I'm covered in sweat. She goes, oh my God, you okay? You seem frazzled. Did you have a nightmare? I go, I did have a nightmare. She goes, what was your nightmare? I go, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. And we've never spoken about it since.
I remember Matt being sweet on a certain female comic who I won't mention by name.
Yeah, sure.
But
When was that?
you'll know when I say that you told Steven that's what a woman should look like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I took great pleasure in showing him a picture of her
Who
boyfriend,
looked just like me.
but with a smaller penis.
Yes. You know what? When we were doing the podcast, when I was doing date fails, I made because Kate Quigley, you were on the podcast. I
told this story on that podcast.
Yeah, and I told the story then, and I said, Kate, this is a true story, and she was like, I don't believe it. I want to see it. And so he showed her. I made him
dig a photo
on
out
the
of my
air
phone.
show it to her, and I've never seen a more terrified Kate Quigley in my life. This poor girl looked like she'd seen.
Kate Quigley, who's had sex with porn stars.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, just out of
Documented.
curiosity now, like, do you still have this picture?
Oh
I
no!
don't.
See, Sussman.
I do not.
This is why it get this man. You made it weird. I'm just kidding.
I'm just a curious Josh. I'm just
This
a
is why
curious.
that friend of yours.
This is why the guy on
getting
Hollywood
mixed
Boulevard
signals,
is getting. Yeah, seriously, come on, man.
I was trying to be supportive and encouraging. Everyone was embarrassing him, and I'm letting
You're
man,
right.
I
We were
support
penis
you.
shaming.
We were
and
penis
that's-
shaming,
that's
and
not fair.
it's
But if you
okay.
do listen to that Datefelds episode, you will hear the greatest story I've ever heard in my entire life if you listen to Joey Chestnut's story.
Yeah, it was a really great story,
Which is incredible.
Which ended up on TMZ and stuff. This story won't end up on TMZ
No.
because this is the dirtiest episode we've ever done of our show.
It's
My apologies.
And with Josh Sussman, who I would never have thought.
Sweet, innocent, Josh
Sweet,
Josh Sussman.
innocent, sexy Josh Sussman. Josh,
Surprises me too.
you're such a great guy, and we love spending time with you. I know that you just went through a breakup recently, but is there romance in your future? Do you feel like you're looking? Are you out there looking?
Well, I just re-downloaded Tinder, and I've been swiping right,
Yeah, baby.
but I did that at the airport. Just to, cause a lot less pressure knowing hey, I'm getting on a plane. It's just fun to match. I
Yeah, I get it.
don't have to meet up with anyone.
You,
don't-
any of
you're
you
playing
guys?
your own version of the match game.
I need to ask you something from my grandmother.
Hey,
Because my grandmother did not like Steve Harvey on Family Feud. Where is he not even on your list?
I love Steve Harvey on Family Feud. I'll have you know.
My
I think he's
grandmother thought he
fantastic on
mumbled.
that show.
She was she would talk about his mumbling, and he would
He
use slang.
does
My
need to
grandmother did not.
enunciate better. But I think he does a great job on that show. I'm a big fan of his work on Family Feud.
Or
I love
Louis
how we-
Anderson.
I love how we keep
Louis
getting
Anderson's
back to game shows.
To something I know something
so
about.
weird.
Oh well, once
Weirdest thing that's ever happened.
when these
on our
microphones
show.
are turned off, I'm gonna follow Matt all the way to his car and just ask him about even more about his list.
Oh God, this is a whole thing. Josh, where can people find you, and what do you have coming up in your life?
Okay, well, you could find me on Instagram, Mr. Josh Sussman, on Facebook, Mr. Josh Sussman, on Twitter, Josh Sussman.
Just mixing
He's
it up.
less formal on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Very
wish
casual on Twitter.
I wish I could have the same one on all of them, but Josh Sussman was taken on Instagram and taken on Facebook, so I added
you
them
know
this
what that means? You got to hunt down those other Josh Sussmans and
Yeah.
kill them.
Well,
You can be the only one. Do it like Highlander.
You know, teen.com made a list of the 16th hottest Joshes. I actually made the top 16.
Congratulations.
And I have thought about hunting down the other Joshes.
Now, are
Just how many
they
were ahead of you?
imposters of you?
No, it's the 16. I was 16, so they're
Mm-hmm.
15 ahead of me. I think Josh Gad was 15. I think
Josh Gad was ahead of you?
yeah.
Oh, that list is
Horse
bogus.
Come on.
It's by
Do you have
teen.com.
Josh
Hotter.
Duhamel in front of you too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bogus list.
Yeah, bogus.
But
Fuck
It's a
both those
bogus
Joshes.
list.
no, but
You're
I,
the hottest Josh that's ever been on this podcast. I
I
say that without a
agree.
doubt.
well, usually I think they do just the top 15, but I think they made it a top 16 to include me, so I
think
felt
so.
good about it.
That's pretty
They
sweet.
want to be inclusive. They wanted to make sure they got you in.
I love
They
it,
were
buddy.
astonished the voting came back the way it was. They said there were voting irregularities, and they wanted to make sure you were in there.
My goal, I have goals. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to want to crack that, like top 12.
Top 10.
Are you going to start
Yes.
doing stand-up again?
I want to.
All right, well, we got
I have funny stories to share.
We got to get him. We got to
know
get
you
him
do.
back up on stage. We got to get you back on stage because you're so damn funny.
Thank you for saying it.
Mike Black, what's happening with you? What's coming up?
Well, I'm gonna go ugly up Josh Gad.
Okay, all right, good.
That's first.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy. We love him.
Sure. He's whatever. He's delicious.
Delicious.
You can find me on Instagram at Mike Black Attack, and I do the nighttime show with you every month, and that's about it.
It's the sexiest
The
show in
sexiest
town.
show in town.
And you go on his Instagram and you'll see toys like you wouldn't believe. Hey, did you see that email I sent you about going to the aliens thing tomorrow night?
No.
I sent you a thing about us going to Laguna Niguel for this aliens thing at Sinopolis.
Let's
By the
go.
way, the sexiest movie theater if you've never been to Sinopolis.
I haven't. We're going.
Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night.
We are
and-
doing it now.
Okay, well, Matt, where can people find you in the world?
You can go online and just go to funnymatt.com. I got links to all my profiles on there. Or if you think that I derailed the show and did a terrible job, let me know at mattwalkersucks.com.
Yeah, and if you want to see his penis, just send him a direct message. I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't send his dick pics.
Obviously he does because he has pictures on his phone. I'm wondering.
Hey, it's hard to not take a picture of his penis.
It sounds like it's hard to take it if you have to go into a panoramic. I never go into panoramic.
Sometimes I take a selfie and Matt's penis is in the picture and he's not even there. He's not even there.
I live in Koreatown, and his penis has been in a lot of my pictures.
It's really uncomfortable. But I would take a picture of it too. I take pictures of things I like. Hey, Brian, our wonderful producer, hop on the mic for a second. Tell people where they can find you in the world. Get over here. Go. Say it.
Ooh,
Hello.
wait, maybe we could play Limbo later.
Yes, hello.
Brian, you wonderful, sexy beast. Where can they find you on the internets?
You can find me on Twitter at neverfunny.
Which is a lie, by the way.
What?
He's lying when he says never funny. That's
No,
his,
that's
his
my
Twitter,
handle.
Your Twitter handle is never funny?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is
Which
that
is
true?
not true. He's a liar on Twitter because he's funny all the time.
Oh,
on Twitter.
he's very funny on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Well, that's
Just
nice of you to say.
humble.
Okay. Well, I love you, buddy, and I'm
We
happy
love
that you're
Brian.
here.
I call him Humble
And
Brian.
I'm so sorry that I continuously kept saying names that we have to bleep out.
Yeah.
I'm Stephen Glickman at Stephen Glickman, STEPHEN Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Lots of fun things coming out shortly. You got to go check out Loot Crate. We did this really funny spot.
yeah.
Mike was there when we were shooting it. Casper Van Dien was in it. All sorts of incredibly funny people. Waymond from Workaholics shot with us that day, and we shot at Hummingbird Ranch, which is was last valued at $75 million. It's an amazing.
I'm saving
home.
up to buy it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. It was
Saving
a lot of fun. And that video that we shot is hysterical, and it'll come out very shortly. And then the Pilot Pens thing we did way back in the day, that thing is about to come out finally after like 7-8 months
Finally
of
got approval?
Yeah, it was a lot of
And,
time on that.
Are there any movies we should watch for in September?
Yeah, there's this Western.
Yeah, the Magnificent Seven remake's coming out, right?
No, not that one. It's a different one. It's a Western, and it takes place in outer space, and it stars
Space Cowboys? Is that
Yeah,
the one?
it stars Jesse the Body Ventura, Dean, the ghost of Dean Martin, and Gabriel Iglesias.
I want to see that movie.
And the movie is called Storks, and you need to watch it.
really?
Warner Brothers movie, and I'm in it also.
Oh.
Yeah. So that movie comes out September 23rd all over the U.S.
And what
then
are you doing the next day?
What's that? Oh, and then the next day, September 24th, is the next nighttime show at the Hollywood Improv. So get your ass to the show, and we'll celebrate, and we'll have fun. I think we're even going to give away some tickets to
talking about
Storks
Some ideas.
at the show. And we're working on our lineup for that one. This past show was completely insane. And videos from this last show are going to be up on my YouTube page. So don't forget to check
Did you
it
do
out.
your Storks voice?
My YouTube page. I love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. I'm sorry this episode was not safe for work, but it definitely is not safe for work. But guess what? None of us care.
Now you're telling everyone at this point.
Yeah, maybe we should do an ad at the beginning that says it's not safe for work.
It's rated M on iTunes.
Oh, okay.
It has a rating
Sexual
saying
content.
that it's
Hey,
not.
I love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Mwah.
Thanks for listening to the Nighttime Show. I'm Stephen Kramer, Glickman, and I love you.